lesson is chapter 2.3, modeling with linear functions, and also piecewise functions, and that we'll do a little bit later. But to start with the lesson, we have different forms of linear equations. If you are given the information of a slope m and the y-intercept b, then we typically use, well, of course we use y equals mx plus b to write an equation of a line. If you are given the slope and a point that's not the y-intercept, we can use what's called the point-slope form, which is this formula right here. I don't always use this. I'll show you two different ways. I'll show you how to use this and how to use the slope-intercept form to get the same information. But this is another equation you can use. Also, if you're given 2 points, you have to find the slope first. You cannot write an equation of a line without the slope. So the first thing you do is find the slope, and then the book says use point-slope form with either given point. I would say use point-slope or slope-intercept form to, with either of the points. Okay, so first of all, here I am given the slope, which is m, and the y-intercept, which is b. And the slope is -3, the y-intercept is 7. So all I need to do is plug it in to y equals mx plus b. It's pretty straightforward. So y equals -3x plus 7. That's it. Okay, so go ahead and give this one a try. Read it carefully because I made this one a little bit tricky. So go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, so write a linear equation with the y-intercept 2/3 and the slope is -3. So slope -3, y-intercept 2/3. So we have y equals -3x plus 2/3. And I made that kind of tricky. I wanted you to make sure that you read what each thing was, because typically when we have a fraction, that's our slope. But in this case it wasn't, and I just wanted to make sure that you read the problem correctly. All right, so next kind of problem that we have is when we're given the slope and a point, and this is where we can use the point-slope form, but we can also use the slope-intercept form. So if I use point-slope form, okay, I just plug things in. This y and this x are going to stay y and x. Okay, y1 and x1 are going to be my point right here. So y minus y1, which is 3, equals 1/4 times x minus a -8, which gives me a +8. And we could keep it like this if we want it in point-slope form, but I'm actually going to put it into slope-intercept form. So to do that, I need to get y by itself. So I'm going to distribute. So y minus 3 equals 1/4 x plus 1/4 times 8 is 2. And then I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And I get y equals 1/4 x plus 5. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to think about it like this. I have m, and I have an x, and I have a y. So I can use y equals mx plus b and fill in all of these variables and solve for b. So y is 3, the slope is 1/4, x is -8 plus b. So 3 equals -2 plus b. If I add 2 to both sides, I get b equals 5. So now I have b and I have m, and so now we're back like to the very beginning of the lesson. with those problems we did first. So that's going to be y equals mx plus b. And you can see that it's the same, we get the same answer. Okay, so here's a problem for you to try. So go ahead and pause your video now. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is just do it the one way, and I'm just going to use slope-intercept form. So if I use y equals mx plus b, y is 6, m is 3/2, x is -6, plus b. All right, so 3/2 times -6 is actually -9. Plus b, I'm going to add 9 to both sides, and I get b equals 15. So I've got my slope, I've got m, I've got b, and now I can use this to rewrite it again. So y equals mx plus 15. Now if you did it the other way, if you use the point slope form, and then you distributed and got y by itself, you should still get this same equation. All right, so now we have an example when we're just given 2 points. Now the thing that you've got to remember is that you cannot write a linear equation without the slope. So the first thing that we have to do whenever you're given 2 points is to find the slope first. So the equation of a slope is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, it could also be y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Just make sure that they're in the same order. You're using those coordinates in the same order. Okay, so m equals, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to do 4 minus a -2. So 4 minus a -2. And then 8 minus 4. So I get 6 over 4, and if I simplify that, I have 3/2. So now I have m. And now I just use one of these points. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to use 8, 4 because they're both positive. And so I'm going to plug that in to y equals mx plus b. So y is 4. M is 3/2, x is 8. We don't know what b is yet. Okay, 3/2 of 8 is 12. I subtract 12 from both sides, and I get b equals -8. Okay, so there's m, here's b. I have y equals mx plus b, or in this case, -8. All right, so I have one for you to try. The notes I printed out are wrong, so what I'd like you to do, if I want you to have these same points. I think I have a +5 in the notes, so change that to a -5. And go ahead and pause the video now. All right, now I actually need to stop this video. I can only make videos in short amounts of time. So we will do this example in the next video.